visual artist based in Singapore, but I initially was, my first degree was in English Lit, but I ended up working as a designer, then a developer, and then sort of teaching programming in the poly and the uni as well. And mainly I've been building things in this project which I call the Singapore Psychogeographical Society and other things. So I think one of the things that I've been doing is mainly a lot of documentation and archiving things of Singapore and also my own personal things. So I was going to show you some of these sort of archives that I've been doing. So maybe I'll just do it in terms of story. So archives. Well, a lot of the things that I built are based on very simple questions, or start from very simple questions like what a scallop looks like. So when I was in secondary school, I used to ask people what they thought a scallop looked like, and then a lot of people in Singapore would tend to say like this thing. I don't know about what you think is that. Just because I was trying to get a tablecloth that was like a scallop edge, and then everybody they didn't know it was this. They thought it was like a cake. So they said, "Oh no, you mean a cake shape?" And I was like, "No, a scallop, like a scallop." Edge, and it was kind of really hard to tell people scallop sometimes because everybody has a picture of things. So for me, it's based on that I really wanted to ask people or document what people think the shape of things are, like in Singapore. Like the geography of Singapore it's kind of funny because like say the Singapore River is kind of where Singapore begins, where the port of Singapore kind of is. But if you ask people where the Singapore River is or what shape it is, most people can't seem to tell what it is. Like, so I started by asking people to draw for me the shape of the river. So this is one of the archives I was making of people's imaginings of the Singapore River. It's really funny because a lot of these were from people that I meet on the riverside. So can you draw for me? And be like, oh, like this. All of it would be totally different. Some of it not even really trying. So it's really strange, until you ask people, you don't know what people actually think the shape of things are. It's some of the people's imaginings of the Singapore River. And so in the end, my own work was actually trying to build tables, like an interactive touch table that sort of illustrated people the shape of the river. You could like play with it and then change the river according to the year as well. Also trying to archive people's stories. So I made a time and asked people to submit to me their stories of the Singapore River, whether they were real or fake. They could, there's a website that I made collecting people's stories. They could submit it in the gallery, and a lot of the stories that people gave me were kind of really funny stories of this LKY's mark. And one other more funny one is someone like in UFO. Someone works in UFO. You probably recognize this in the City Hall area. There's the that thing there. Yeah. So it's kind of like collecting all these sort of memories and stories of the Singapore River and sort of investigating also small pieces of history. So for me, one of the stories I got was this story about weird story of Pulau Saigon, that someone said that he had worked on a dig on Pulau Saigon. I don't know if you're Singaporean, whether you've heard of Pulau Saigon. Anyone here has heard of Pulau Saigon? It's funny, but actually I've asked a lot of people, even my parents and people older than me, don't know what Pulau Saigon is because it's kind of disappeared off the map around the 70s, about 70. Basically, it used to be there and had an abattoir and railway station and everything. And it's kind of weird because if you're interested in history, like Singapore's history, sometimes you can't find any information about small things like that. Like the geography of Singapore has changed so much that even the island can completely disappear from sort of public consciousness within like my parents' lifetime, almost. So actually this is a map of the Singapore River. The arrow is moved, but actually that's the Pulau Saigon, which is where the cement would have been along that road, which is where the new MRT line is also being built. So actually they used to be an island. And I guess this led me to see a museum which for me is the inspiration for a lot of my collections. This is the NUS Museum, which is my university, the National University of Singapore. And they had this beautiful gallery called Shark Gallery. The funny thing is that when you go into this, you see all the Chinese and Indian and huge pottery from like all over the world, and then you come to the Singapore section, which is this gallery because it's kind of funny because when you go there, like everything's all like in pieces, but some of them have been pieced together, so someone's kind of pieced them together. But basically, this is like all the artifacts of Singapore, and I find that for me, in my role as an artist, I think of myself as an archivist, collecting all these traces, that I piece together, and in a sort of attempt to deconstruct a kind of narrative. So this is sort of what informs my sort of collections. So some of the collections I was working on was actually spots. So I think maybe some of you have seen this in Singapore. Or actually anywhere in the world that you have lived in, right? You see a lot of these like marks around the place. So the funny thing is, when I went to ask the land surveyor what they were, he said, "Oh, these are not land survey marks. Land survey is metallic. They have a number, and they're going to be like they're all recorded somewhere. These are just like civil engineering marks that are sort of like done construction. Maybe a worker has done it, and because I wanted to find out if there was a sort of a dictionary of signs that I could read to figure out what they were. So I was collecting all these signs. So I collected, let me find the picture on the other side. Yeah. So I collected about 600 plus of these spots. And what happens is, I think a lot of you know that if you take pictures on your phone or whatever, you actually can map them out. So I was just using my phone and I just mapped out all the points as well. Obviously it just reflects where I've gone, because where I've gone is where I've seen the slots, So this is sort of so I was just trying to build these sort of independent archives, of spots in a sense, in a funny way. And when I went for a residency in Paris last year, and one of the things I noticed in Paris, on the third day I was in Paris, I walked past very close to the Louvre, because all the tourists go to the Louvre. So I was going there, and I saw some people actually stamping 5th of September 2012 into the road. And I realized that, I don't know if anyone's from France or, but I've seen this in the roads, but I started collecting the dates as well. So I made an archive of all the dates in the roads. In about 3 months, I had about almost 150 dates. So I'm currently working on a sort of a book that is I'm still working on it, okay? But basically, it's a book that actually incorporates the maps and also the dates and also stories. So I collected all these dates, but of course the dates are nothing without like stories or some meaning attached to them. So I got people that I met along the way in Paris to tell me whether, can you recall what you might have been doing on say 5th of February 1993, something like that. So I got collected a lot of stories of this, sort of just matching up stories with kind of people's dates and also the data. Like this is a map of all the dates that are actually embedded in sort of the city. I thought it was quite funny. And it was funny because sometimes some people who were coming to the shows have lived in Paris like all their life, and they're like, "Oh, I've never looked down before, to see the dates in the roads." And I guess for me, even like in Singapore, sometimes you always I think for example, Skate is like this youth place. I mean, this whole place is kind of like a youth area, and they always have this like graffiti contest, where they put this wall and say, "Oh, paint on this. This is the street art contest." And I'm like, that's not graffiti. The real kind of graffiti to me is like the kind that is like the sign that you cannot decipher. Only someone else can actually know. So for me, that's why I was interested in collecting these sort of the real graffiti, of a city. Where some people said that I was told that some of these are like company names. Like there's a KK Fu, it's a land survey company. That actually write their name on it, like K and a K, and things like this. And so it's kind of like the sort of secret signs in the city that are quite fascinating. So I mean, obviously I worked on some funny mapping projects as well. This was what I did for the last hackathon. The previous one that I went to, this was a strange project called Strange La. Just using it's more like an experiment, So what happened is that there was this set that was provided at the NEA hackathon that was of people's complaints about food. But I think one of the fields that people can fill out online is strange taste. So it seems to have influenced people's responses to it, like saying weird stuff, So there was a lot of that. So I just passed it to get all the weird and strange, all the things that's weird and strange in it, and then take it out. So people, this is actually, it's very bad to just point out the company because I don't know if it's true or not. So it's just the street view of the area. So you just know that someone has strange living there. So that, yeah. And I mean, the sort of current project that I'm working on is kind of this more personal project. I just got a copy here. I mean, it's also a mapping project for me. This is actually the proof of the book I've been working on for the last sort of 6 years actually. So this is actually a sheet with 100 dreams I've had in the last 6 years. So I'm really, all my work is always about cities. And personally, I always think that you dream a lot at night, and then I always imagine my dreams are always in cities. So I thought it would be interesting to start to kind of map them out as well, to keep them in a visual form. Because when you wake up, sometimes you write a story, you write a few words, but when you wake up, you're like, I don't know what I've written, But if you draw it in a map form, I feel like since dreams are quite visual, that the best way to map a dream would be through a map. So this was the sort of the product of the last 6 years of dreaming. Yeah. So the dream maps, it takes a bit of discipline to draw the maps when you wake up, but for me, I've done it over enough years to sort of collect this whole thing into book form. Yeah, but I mean, a lot of it actually starts off like in note form, like this. Then actually be translated into this form. So, I guess for me the importance of mapping it is, I mean, it's kind of like a personal project, but it's like if I feel like the city influences what I do. So what about the spaces? Since everyone dreams at night, so also the dream spaces kind of have an influence. So I thought it'd be interesting to see whether there was anything I could map from it or read from it as well. So cue this big horrifying endless project of collecting dreams. So this is the book is actually going to be, I'm actually leaving for my master's in 9 days. So the book comes out in 3 days actually. So I'm quite excited, finally. I haven't seen it yet, so I mean I only got the proof, but I'm quite excited about it. So if you're interested, you can find me later. I tell you where you can finally find it later. But I think that mapping it is quite interesting. I used to have it in my diary as well. So in my diary I would have I'm going today to somewhere and I draw a map, and the next to my dream map. It's kind of weird as well, but quite nice, and all these sort of maps mixed up together. Yeah. And a lot of how I recorded it is also in a weird, horrifying way. I had this wiki that I made. Oops, it's a bit big. So I had a wiki which I collected all the sort of facts that I've collected over the years. Yeah. I can find it here. So in the end, having a wiki, a big horrifying wiki of all the notes of what I've learned over the years has been quite useful in keeping track of whatever I've been doing over the last, it's more like, this is horrifying. And for me, I have always been, think everything that I do on sort of a Flickr in a sense, should the mouse crack as well? The thing is, everything that I do, I actually upload to Flickr, and what am I saying? I'm digressing a bit. I actually called this book. So the end product of this is that in the end, I took out all this text, and I was trying to produce a text that would sound like Debbie, like Debbie text, like a thing that text like sounds. Because I produced a lot of material, as you can see, from books and blogs and everything. So I was trying to make this sort of using a Markov generator to produce like the sort of Debbie Markov. Yeah. The ghost crab is here at least online. on my horrifying blog. Yeah, so I was so things like this, because I collect so much data on myself, I thought the end product of this would be to sort of generate the ghost of Debbie online, like where Debbie goes to, what Debbie is writing next. There's so much of it anyway. So so I just use Python and practice script to produce a text like that sounds like me. Yeah. This is like one of those horrifying exercises where I just ran all the text in my blog into a sort of Markov. It's not like real grammar or anything I know. It's just like at least it sounds like me, so I guess it's okay. It does sound like me. So making Debbie generators after that. That's what I'm doing. A lot of time spent on all this. Debbie sort of simulators. So and also for the dream, in the end also generating a kind of computer generated dream, which I exhibited recently at the substation. We had a exhibition of books that have influenced artists in Singapore. Like, so we were all asked to we were exhibiting a series of books that had influenced our own practice. Because my background is in literature, so books also are very kind of my influence, I guess, or text and syntax is also important to me. So one of my influences was this book, which is the book I wrote. It's in because it was a kind of a dream book, which kind of also has an influence. So computer. I don't know where it is. Anyway, lots of things. But let's end off with description of something. One more thing. One of in the end, I ended up moving on to collecting more physical things, archiving even physical fragments now, which is collecting rocks of Singapore. I think my new interest is actually rocks or because even like the rocks of Singapore are something also quite overlooked. Obviously, these are all man-made rocks, so I was this sort of organizing rock trades, so people could come and we could talk about rocks, or we could trade rocks, but only man-made ones. So because Singapore is kind of urban, so the only rocks that someone actually gets are kind of urban rocks. So that's why they're all man-made rocks. And it's kind of nice because then in the end people start talking about rocks like they have a sort of an intrinsic value, like, oh, your rock's so big, I give you 2 rocks. My rock's too small, I don't want any rocks. Yeah, kind of trading system of kind of giving value to also these kind of fragments. So I guess it's a gist of all the things. I'm happy. I know many kind of scattered projects, so I'm happy to answer questions later. Yeah. Thank you for
Prerogative to go first. Show and tell. Three questions. What did you do? How did you do it?
Okay.
Third question. What did you learn?
What did I learn?
Yeah.
Okay.
What have you learned?
What did I do?
Well, I think you've done an awesome job showing what you did and how you did it. I read the wiki.
Yeah.
So what have you learned through?
What have I learned? What have I learned? Learned that there's no end to the learning, actually. I mean, I'm quite an autodidact in the end. I really like learning new stuff. So I wrote, even the projects that I do are sort of vehicles for me to geek out about things, actually. So a lot of them are like, I just like to learn about rocks. So I made a whole rock project on the geology. And I've gone much further than this. I've been investigating the kind of rocks I've been trying to find all the fossils in Singapore now. But apparently they don't exist anymore because they've been destroyed. Yeah, but that's another story. It's a horrifying story. Yeah, as well. So it's like, I think it's for me also being an artist gives me the kind of freedom to explore a lot of these disciplines without having to. Sometimes, for example, I like history, but I won't be a historian because a historian would have to say, you can't say, I'm going to make up this a bit, like you can't it's like, what could it be? I'm going to speculate into future what in a sci-fi kind of way. But being an artist gives me the room to actually explore a lot more. Okay. Yes.
What's the place you'd like to go and survey most?
Place I'd like to go and survey. There are a lot of places I'd like to survey. I think currently only because I've been trying to investigate things, it's B+ I've been trying to trace all people who worked on the archaeological dig about 50 years ago. But they're all over the world. Actually, a lot of them in the UK, weirdly enough. So So I'm tracing that. It's not tracing it because I can't trace the site where it doesn't exist. Yeah.
Hi, I'm sorry, I'm in the corner here. Not really a QS question, but
Yeah.
who are the artists that inspire you?
Artists that inspire me. There are. I like Mark Dion's work. He's also. I mean, I like artists that work with archives, but I would say my influences maybe come more from books actually. I never studied art.
So authors?
Authors, maybe, yeah. One of my favorite books is The French Lieutenant's Woman. I think that one is a big influence on my work. But I know it's a book. It's a book about how to describe it? Fossils, actually. It's about these people. You should read it. Yeah, by John Fowles. It's kind of like a meta novel written, but it's really nice. I think for me, those things are my influence.
Sorry, Debbie, what was that book again?
John Fowles, The French Lieutenant's Woman. I think it was made into a film. I've never watched the film, but the film had Meryl Streep in it, so people know Meryl Streep more than the book. But yeah, it was also about fossils, and the fossil was the setting of where it's actually the court. It's set in the court where there was this. Where actually a lot of literary characters are also written about down there. It was where in Persuasion, the book Persuasion. There was a character that fell and died. And there are a lot of literary references to this sort of piece of rock or the geography of the place or so. And the author has made a story about it, but it's also about writing. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe you've been tracking the dreams for the past 5 years or so. Have you ever experienced deja vu where in real life you come to a place that you've been to in a dream? It's like, yeah, I've been here before.
I think I do because I guess I do have a lot of lucid dreams, and all my dreams are buildings or more like shapes. None of them are because I was doing a project once because all of them are buildings, and someone, my friend, a musician, David, he was looking at my work and he said, "Oh my God, all your dreams are like in buildings." And I was like, "Oh no, you're right. It's so sad. I don't have dreams outside." So I was trying to imagine, also trying to spend some time outside of cities and try to spend my time drawing outside. So I just try to spend like one summer trying to draw or go places that weren't in cities. But I still don't have any. I suppose I get the deja vu because they're all spaces. They're all kind of fixed, and maybe it's also indicative of what kind of space I spend my time in. Yeah. So I guess it's in that sense, yeah. So I think there's a that. Yeah.
What's the process of ritual that you use to capture your dreams?
I guess I write it when I wake up. I think I have a very bad sleeping habit as well. Like I sleep about 4 or 5 hours, or actually that's actually conducive to remembering things because it's kind of like I think the right timing to wake up where you remember it, but maybe your sleep is not that great. But it's kind of like good timing, 4 or 5 hours. That's the secret. Oh no, yeah.
Any last question?
Yes.
What's next after rocks?
What's next after rocks? I don't know, but hopefully I'll find out soon. I'm going to, it's good timing because I'm leaving Singapore in 9 days to my postgrad, so we'll see how that turns out. Yeah.
To where?
At Royal College in London. So kind of like a design program, but then I'm still an artist. I mean, I succeed, so I'm still an artist. Even though I'm going to design school or something.
Alan, did you have a question?
The things that you track, the things that you log, do they affect your decisions? If so, how?
Affect my decisions. I do track other things like the fit. I have a Fitbit as well. I don't know where it is. Yeah. Also, like, I mean, I suppose in that sense, some things influence me. Like, I guess Fitbit influenced me more. But for more personal stuff, I guess for me it's like a game almost now. It's like a game looking for like the like survey marks. For me, it becomes a game that I would go to places, I go all the way to walk to find things like that. Whereas I think how that project of political science began because I worked in the CBD, and my office was like, I think I brief from another building all the time. And I walked this very boring route in the middle of like Robinson Road, like really boring. So I made up the game to make it more fun to walk. So every day we say, oh, it's a new spot. And then we like, my colleague say, Debbie, there's the spot, no? There's the spot. And then I'll take all photos of it, you know, and then we have like lots and lots of spots. And it sort of encourages, it was otherwise completely banal thing to walk across the CBD every day. But it made it kind of more fun to explore, or to also take the extra effort to just walk around and wander about.
So it's more of the actual experience of vlogging and more than the results.
I guess so, yeah. Though in the end also I try to log and see where the spots are, but I can where construction is or where I am. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay.
All right,
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much.